Okay, it's now time to start talking about how to apply for college. What classes am I going to take? What colleges am I going to be enrolled in? Have to apply to, etc., etc. So let's go. As far as which college courses, the handout that you had got at the top of your packet, Lamar's on one side, Lamar University is on one side, Lamar State College Orange is another. The brochure has both of them laid out. The website has both laid out. So we will be partnering again with Lamar State College Orange, same as this year, but instead of SFA, we will be partnering with Lamar University. Few things, most of your classes will be taught at the high school. Okay, don't have to travel. Most of the instructors are university approved, which means they could be teaching at the college. Your science and math instructors could be college instructors. They have the qualifications to do that. If we don't have a qualified instructor, then we chose an online option with a Lamar University instructor. There will be a teacher in the classroom making sure that everything is working and able to help troubleshoot if they can. Online classes doesn't mean it's just LCM in there. If it's an online class, you could be in there with a lot of other students. So while it's taught at the high school, you could be interacting with other high school. Good thing is they are during the high school day. That doesn't mean you can't do your homework online after school and stuff, but the class will meet a designated class period. For those going to LSCO, that's your health science, process tech, and EMT. Those classes, you would need to, you'll be sitting in a classroom of college kids. You also need to have proof of meningitis before they will let you on that college campus. You'll see how a classroom college campus really works, what the professors are really like, and those classes most likely will start, at least Process Tech will, before LCM does, so that you can be back to LCM on time. So those Process Tech classes, a lot of them this semester have a 7 a.m. start time, so that they get done by 9:30, so you can be here by 9:50. So don't be surprised if you're going to Lamar Orange, some of you will be going early. Most are at 8, but some of those are going a lot earlier. All right, let's look at Lamar State College Orange. You may want to look at the brochure. This is from the website. The classes are broken down into academic and technical. So the brochure, I did that purposely so you could see that, because that is how you have to apply. The academic classes that we have are your science and your math classes. The technical are the ones that will be going to LSCO. Most of them, the brochure has the same information. The price is, science classes are $200, math are $150 each. The prerequisites, the 2 science classes, you have to pass your TSI English to get into it in the fall. You have to make a C or better in the fall to get into that spring class. The chemistry has a lot of math in it, and then of course the math. So for those, you have to have the TSI math. This goes for the honors kids as well. And then in the spring, you have to have a C or better to advance to the spring class. You have to have a C or better in the fall. The technical classes, you can kind of see those prices range. EMT is a 6-hour credit, 5 and 1, so it's $250 in the fall and $50 in the spring. Most of them, they take more, 3, 4, 6, 8 hours a semester, so they're taking quite a bit. They do have the meningitis for the fall. It's already there for the spring. Nursing, health science does have to have TSI English for the spring classes, since those are academic. Process 2 has already done their meningitis for Process 1, so that's pretty much done. Okay, Apply Texas. When you do Apply Texas, this is the same thing you do for every college. When juniors, when you get ready to apply this summer, you're going to open up Apply Texas. So those of you that have done dual credit already have an account. You need to make sure that you keep that username and password, because you will use it for a long time. If you are new to LSCO, then you will need to do Apply Texas, because they need to get that information. And from the time you submit to the time they get it, it's like a 48-hour window or something. So the sooner we can get this done, the better. You will complete the form. The instructions are there. If you are returning, obviously you don't need to do Apply Texas. If you are new because you're only taking college algebra, which is only in the spring, you will do Apply Texas probably in October. I'm guessing I'll get stuff to you in October to do for spring entry. A couple of things. They do have a certain thing, and I've got it marked on your paper there. You do have to declare a major, and you have to know academic technical, and that's on the back side. The other thing is remember your username and password. You will use this after you graduate. Maybe you're going to Texas State, but you're going to go to, I don't know, another college for summer school. You have to go through Apply Texas to get to that other college for summer school. So you need to keep this username. It cannot be it's just keep it right at the bottom of the paper. I put a form where you can save it. Keep that so you keep it. You know what it is. On the back side, you'll see the difference between the academic and the technical. So if you are not going into one of those technical fields like health science, EMT, and process tech, you can choose anything on there that you want to major in, but general studies is usually a good choice. If you do choose to go to Lamar, you can change that later. If you are going into one of the technical fields and you want to stay, you're pretty sure you want to major in that, health science would pick advanced nurse aid, EMT, the match, and then the process tech would pick industrial tech. So just kind of watch those. The other form that Lamar Orange has to do is the supplemental application. There's a student section, which is fairly short. There's a parent section, which is brand new and is quite long. So the parents might want to make sure that they read everything in that section. That needs to be completed and returned to me by the end of the month. I also will need a photo ID, a copy of your photo ID. That can be a driver's license, school ID, but that needs to be turned in by the end of the month. And you don't have to wait that long. You can get it done this week if you wanted to. That's fine. I probably am not going to be there this week, but by next week I'll be up there. You can still turn it in if you want to. I will complete the section where it says what classes are you taking. We don't dual enroll in summer, so I crossed that out. But I will fill those classes in after test scores. That's the next subject. After test scores are achieved, I'll get your transcripts, I'll get your test scores, I will get your school ID, everything that it says that needs to be attached to this. That's my job, to make sure that I have all my pieces together. So you have to do the Apply Texas and get your stuff to them and get this paperwork and ID back to me. Just a reminder, some of you may not have been in college for a while, they don't mail things out anymore. They communicate. You have an account, you log in, you get information that way. They do email and text. So be checking your email. School, you have now a college email, a high school email, a personal email. You need to be checking those quite often. Students who are at Lamar can also concurrently enroll. That means you can go up and take a class at Lamar in the summertime. You'll pay full tuition, but you can do that. You also have access to their learning center. You will need to pay $5 to get an ID to be able to go in there. Those of you who are going to Lamar, health science, nursing, Prostech, and EMT, you go the first periods of the day, process tech 2 periods, EMT and nursing 3 periods. You are responsible for transportation there. Like I said, process tech starts at 7 in the morning sometimes. You also have to get that meningitis shot. Now, we gave it here last month. If you're under 18, it's very cheap. It was like, I think, $5 or less. Maybe it was $5 if you didn't have insurance. It was cheap. So you could get that done. Hopefully, I sent notices to most of you and you got that done. You have your paperwork. Then you also should have in your packet a form on how to upload. Now, that second paragraph says once they have received your application, then you can go ahead and register with MedProctor using the email address you provided with your application. That's the one you used on Apply Texas. Okay, so it all kind of ties together. They need to have proof that you have had that shot by August 1st. That's my deadline for you. I don't want to be chasing after you. We had too many students last semester waiting, and it got too tight, and we had some students that really almost did not get in because they just didn't take care of business. So I want that done by August 1st. We'll be back on campus, and I don't want to have to be calling you and getting that done. So if you have the shot, I would say by the end of, if you apply now, you can take care of that easily before you leave campus for the summer, and then it's done. Keep that meningitis shot though, because you'll need that again when you go to whatever college you're going to after you graduate. Okay, Lamar University. Again, in the brochure, we have the same information, everything pretty much is 150. History is taught on campus, everything else is done online. We will have an instructor in the classroom. One thing to note, when you signed up, the creative art was theater appreciation, and when we transferred from SFA to Lamar, they don't have theater appreciation, so we opted to go with music appreciation. So if you were taking theater appreciation and you don't want to take music appreciation, please see your counselor. Otherwise, we'll just go ahead and assume that that transfer will work. Prereqs, oh shoot. Everything should be English. It shouldn't say TSI writing. It should say English, English. You have to make a C in Comp 1 to get to Comp 2, then English for everything else. So most everybody has to take TSI English. If you just took TSI reading and you have never taken TSI writing, you are going to have to take TSI English. All right, the Apply Texas, similar format. Again, if you are taking music appreciation, or no, speech or government in the spring only, you do not have to do Apply Texas yet, but everybody else would have to do Apply Texas. Again, remember your username and password. It is what you will be using for most colleges from now till whenever. Also, don't use your LCM email in that second paragraph. Access to your email stops when you graduate, and you need to have an email that will be usable after you graduate. So don't use LCM as your email. The other thing to note, down towards the bottom of the steps, do not pay. Do not pay. The process is you put that you're going to pay the fee, application fee, but then do not pay. Do not pay. Now, complete by February 16th. That's going to be the absolute last day, because you need to have your Lamar ID for the next step, and it usually takes 2 to 3 weeks. So if you can get this done this week, tonight, this week, that would be awesome, because then we don't need to be worrying about you missing the next deadline. Okay, new to students for the fall. Again, if you're taking government or speech, you don't have to do this form either. Some of you may have gotten it. You do not have to do it. If you're taking English, history, theater, no, what's the other one? If you're taking something other than government or speech, you will have to turn this in. If you notice the first line, that first yellow line, it says your LUID number or Apply Texas. I would like you all to have got that LUID number. So it takes time from point A to point B. So please do Apply Texas as soon as you can. This form is on the website. I've already pre-filled in a few of the things, like Little Cypress Mauriceville was too long, fall 2021, dual credit. I put my information in there. That's already on the form. You can go ahead and fill out the rest of your stuff. I need this form completed and turned back into me by Friday. Again, or the 30th. You don't have to wait till the last minute. You can do it now. Do not fill in the classes in the middle section there where it says what classes you want to take. I will fill that in after you provide test scores. after you provide test scores and are qualified to take those classes, then I will fill that section in. Apply Texas 2 to 3 weeks once your application is processed. They'll send you an email. So whatever email you put, that's one you need to be checking. You will now have, you could possibly have a Lamar University email, a Lamar State College email, an LCM email, a personal email. You need to be checking all of them because that's how they talk to you. So you need to be checking all of them. Once you get them, you will get a Lamar University ID number. They start with an L number. Lamar Orange has an R number. You need to memorize it, know it, etc., etc.